Quiet people aren't shy. They're gathering information to destroy your strategy. Learn their secret language before it's used against you. In every room, there is a person who says almost nothing. While everyone else is busy competing for the spotlight, this person is busy mapping the room. They are listening to the tone of your voice, watching the micro expressions on your face, and noting the gaps in your logic. Psychology calls this information asymmetry, and it is the most dangerous advantage a human being can hold. You see, when you talk, you're giving away your secrets, your insecurities, and your plans for free. But the quiet person is a black hole. They take everything in and give absolutely nothing back. Most people mistake this silence for shyness or lack of confidence, but that is a fatal error in judgment. A shy person is afraid to speak. A dangerous person is choosing not to speak. By the time you finish your sentence, they already know your next move before you've even thought of it. They operate like a grandmaster in a world of casual players, using your own words as pieces on their board. They understand that the person with the most information always has the most control. While you are performing for the crowd, they are dissecting the performance. They aren't just hearing what you say, they are hearing what you are trying to hide. This silent collection of data makes them impossible to manipulate because they see the strings before you even pull them. They don't need to argue to win, they simply wait for you to exhaust yourself with your own noise. In the world of high-stakes psychology, the loudest person is often the most predictable. The quietest person, however, is a vault of hidden intelligence that you will never be invited to open. They understand that words are like currency. If you spend them all at once, you end up bankrupt. By hoarding their words, they increase the value of their presence and the weight of their eventual decision. When they finally do speak, it isn't to join the conversation, it is to end it. This is the strategic patience that turns a simple observer into a master of the environment. They aren't avoiding the game. They are the only ones truly playing it. While you seek validation through your voice, they seek domination through their vision. Every nod of their head is a data point, and every second of their silence is a calculated move. If you find yourself in a room with a silent observer, realize that they aren't ignoring you. They are auditing you. The most unsettling thing about a quiet person is not their silence. It is their lack of reaction. In a world that is constantly trying to provoke you, most people wear their emotions on their sleeves. They react instantly to insults. They celebrate loudly at small wins, and they show fear the moment things go wrong. But the quiet individual operates behind a thick wall of emotional self-control. When you try to provoke them, they don't snap back. They simply stare, analyzing why you felt the need to attack. This total lack of feedback is psychologically crushing for an opponent. It is like punching a shadow. You expend all your energy, but you land no hits. A person who cannot be provoked is a person who cannot be controlled. While you are riding the roller coaster of your feelings, they are standing on solid ground, watching you lose your balance. This emotional neutrality is a weapon because it denies you any leverage over them. They have mastered the art of the unnatural calm, that chilling stillness that appears right before a storm. In high-stakes negotiations or social conflicts, the person who cares the least always has the most power. By refusing to react, they force you to fill the silence with your own insecurities and babbling. They understand that an emotional response is a sign of weakness. It's a signal that the external world has successfully hacked your mind. A quiet person's face is a locked vault, and no amount of pressure can force it open. This is why people are often terrified of them. We fear what we cannot read. If you cannot see someone's anger, you don't know when they will strike. If you cannot see their fear, you don't know how to intimidate them. They stay in the dark while you are fully exposed in the light of your own outbursts. This discipline is not born out of a lack of feeling. It is born out of a strategic decision to prioritize logic over impulse. They feel the same rage and the same sorrow that you do, but they have built a cage for those monsters. While your monsters are running wild and ruining your reputation, theirs are trained and ready for the right moment. They don't waste their inner weather on people who don't matter. They save their intensity for the things that actually move the needle in their life. When a quiet person finally does get angry, it isn't a messy explosion. It is a surgical strike. It is cold, calculated, and final. This is the true meaning of the saying, "Fear the anger of a gentle man." Their silence isn't a void. It is a fortress where they are sharpening their weapons in total peace. They are not being passive. They are being patient. And in the game of power, the patient man always outlives the impulsive one. The greatest weakness of the loud is that they are an open book. You know their triggers, you know their opinions, and you can predict exactly how they will react to any given situation. But a quiet person is a ghost in the machine, because they don't broadcast their thoughts. You have no way of knowing what they are planning next. In the world of strategy and power, unpredictability is the ultimate psychological leverage. If your opponent cannot map your mind, they cannot defend against your movements. Quiet people move in the shadows of their own silence, making them impossible to track or counter. They don't feel the need to explain their why to anyone. While you are busy justifying your actions to the world, they are already 3 steps ahead, operating in total secrecy. This lack of transparency creates a vacuum that others fill with their own fears and assumptions. When you don't speak, people begin to imagine the worst possible scenarios about what you might be thinking. They become paranoid, second-guessing themselves, while the quiet person remains a calm, unmoving target. A silent individual understands that secrecy is the soul of any successful operation. They don't tell you they are going to win, they just show up with the results. They don't announce their departures or their arrivals, they simply appear and disappear as they please. This independence from the need for external approval makes them dangerous chess masters. Most people are trapped by the script society has written for them, the script of the nice guy or the loud leader. But the quiet person follows no script but their own. Their silence is a shield that keeps their true intentions hidden until the very last second. Think of the characters like Gus Fring or Thomas Shelby. Their danger comes from the fact that their faces never change, even when the world is burning. You never see the strike coming because there was no noise to warn you. They don't bark and they don't growl. They just act with surgical precision when the time is right. This ability to remain a mystery is what makes them natural leaders in times of crisis. While everyone else is panic posting or shouting for help, the quiet person is already executing a solution in the dark. They understand that the element of surprise is a force multiplier. When you have no expectations of a person, they have the power to redefine reality at any moment. They aren't trying to be mysterious for the sake of it. They are being mysterious because it is effective. Transparency is for the weak who need to be understood. Opacity is for the strong who only need to be effective. If you're playing against a quiet person, remember, the fact that you can't hear them doesn't mean they aren't moving. It just means you are the one about to be surprised. The greatest cage you can live in is the need to be understood by everyone. Most people spend their entire lives searching for external validation through their words and their posts. They are social beggars, constantly asking for a like or a nod of approval to feel that their existence is real. But a quiet person has achieved the ultimate form of psychological freedom. They don't care about your opinion. Their silence is a statement that they are already whole within themselves. They don't need to fill the air with their achievements to prove they are successful. This independence is terrifying to those who rely on social scripts to feel secure. When you can't buy someone with a compliment or break them with a criticism, you have no power over them. Quiet people possess a presence that is far heavier than any loud person's noise. It is a weight that comes from internal alignment and self-knowledge. While the crowd is busy performing, the quiet person is simply being. They understand that visibility is often a trap used to keep you small and predictable. By staying unseen, they remain untouchable. They are the architects of their own reality, building their world in a room where you aren't invited. This self-reliance allows them to think with a clarity that the loud will never know. They are not distracted by the feedback loops of social media or the gossip of the office. Their mind is a clean, organized space where they can focus on their long-term vision. They move with a ghost scroller mindset, observing the trends without becoming a slave to them. In a room full of puppets, the quiet person is the only one who has cut their own strings. They don't ask for permission to lead. They simply wait for the moment when everyone else's noise fails. Because they have spent so much time in silence, they have heard the things that everyone else missed. They know the truth that lies beneath the stage performances of others. This insight gives them a level of authority that cannot be shouted down. You cannot manipulate a man who is comfortable being alone. You cannot threaten a woman who has already found peace in her own silence. They are not running away from the world. They are observing it from a position of total control. Their independence is their fortress, and their silence is the moat that keeps the manipulators at bay. They don't need a spotlight to feel seen because they have already seen themselves clearly. This is the ultimate psychological edge, being present without the need to perform. And once you reach this level, you become the most dangerous player in the room. The world will tell you that to be powerful, you must be loud. It will tell you that to be seen, you must perform. But now you know the truth that the masters of history have always hidden. Real power doesn't scream, it whispers through action. Real danger doesn't bark. It waits for the perfect moment of silence. If you are naturally a quiet person, stop trying to fix a problem that is actually your greatest gift. Your silence is not a void to be filled. It is a weapon to be sharpened. Every second you spend observing while others are talking is a second you are gaining an edge. Every time you choose peace over a petty argument, you are building a fortress that no one can breach. Don't let a noisy world convince you that your introspection is a weakness. Remember, the loudest person in the room is often the most fragile, desperate for a validation that will never be enough. The quietest person is the one who has already won the game within their own mind. They are the architects of the future, moving in shadows, planning in silence, and executing with absolute precision. 12 months from now, the loud will still be shouting for attention, but the quiet will be miles ahead, living the reality they built in secret. The choice is yours. Will you continue to perform for the crowd, or will you start mastering your own silence? The path to self-mastery is quiet, but the results are deafening. This is the core of what we believe here at Sound Wisdom. We don't just talk about change. We decode the mental frameworks that make it inevitable. If you found this analysis interesting, and you are ready to evolve beyond the noise, you belong in our circle. Subscribe now, and join a community dedicated to the science of human behavior and strategic living. Hit the like button if you move in silence, and share this with the quietest person you know. They already know what this video is about. Leave a comment below with the phrase, "I move in silence," to let us know you're here. Thank you for watching. And remember, the world belongs to those who observe it clearly. Don't just watch, evolve.